James was born in a small, dusty town where the sun baked the earth and dreams seemed to wither before they could take root. His family wasn't poor, but they weren't rich either, just scraping by, like most folks in town. His dad worked long hours at the local factory, and his mom took in sewing jobs to make ends meet. James, even as a kid, had this fire in his eyes. He wasn't content with just getting by. He wanted more. He just didn't know how to get it. When James was about 10, he started noticing things, like how the kids with the newest sneakers always seemed to have a little extra confidence, or how the family that owned the town's only grocery store never seemed to worry about money. He started asking questions. Why do some people have more than others? His dad, tired from a long shift, would just shrug and say, "That's just the way it is, son." But James wasn't buying it. He knew there had to be a way to change things. By the time he was in high school, James had a reputation for being the kid who always had a side hustle. He mowed lawns, washed cars, and even started selling candy out of his locker. It wasn't much, but it was something. He saved every penny, dreaming of the day he could leave this town and make something of himself. But life had other plans. When James was 17, his dad got laid off. The factory shut down, and suddenly, his family was in real trouble. James had to step up. He dropped out of school and took a job at the grocery store, stocking shelves and bagging groceries. It was humbling, but he didn't complain. He worked long hours, often coming home exhausted, but he never stopped dreaming. He'd lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, imagining a life where he didn't have to worry about money. One day, while unloading a shipment of produce, James overheard the store owner talking to a supplier. They were discussing something called e-commerce and how it was changing the way people shopped. James didn't fully understand it, but it sparked something in him. He started researching online, reading everything he could about business and technology. He realized that the world was changing, and if he didn't change with it, he'd be left behind. With a little money he'd saved, James bought a cheap laptop and started experimenting. He taught himself how to build a website and began selling things online: old books, used electronics, anything he could get his hands on. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a start. Slowly, he started making a little money, then a little more. He reinvested everything he earned, learning as he went. But just as things were starting to look up, disaster struck. James's mom got sick. The medical bills piled up, and whatever money James had saved was gone in a flash. He felt like he was back at square one, but this time, he was angry. Angry at the system, angry at the world, but mostly angry at himself for not being able to do more. He vowed then and there that he would never let his family struggle again. James doubled down on his online business. He started selling higher-ticket items, partnering with suppliers, and even dabbling in drop shipping. He worked 18-hour days, barely sleeping, fueled by sheer determination. And then, one day, it happened. One of his products went viral. Orders started pouring in faster than he could keep up. He hired a small team to help, and within months, his little side hustle had turned into a full-blown business. But James didn't stop there. He knew that success was fragile, and he wanted to build something that would last. He started investing in real estate, buying up properties in his hometown and flipping them for profit. He even started a mentorship program, helping other young entrepreneurs get their start. He wanted to give back, to show people that no matter where you come from, you can create your own opportunities. By the time James was 30, he was a millionaire. But more than that, he was a symbol of hope in his hometown. People would point to him and say, "If James can do it, so can I." And that, more than anything, was what made him feel rich. James's journey wasn't easy. There were setbacks, failures, and moments when he wanted to give up. But he kept going, driven by a belief that he could create a better life for himself and the people he loved. And in the end, that's what made all the difference.